All right, so you have made it to the third and final video. So what you're going to do here is we need to first calculate survivorship. So what you're going to do for each row in column C, divide the number in column B by the total number of deaths for the data set. This is going to give you the fraction of people that survived at each interval, known as a survivorship. So column B, okay, so 26, okay, divided by 26 is going to be 1.0. 23 divided by 26 is 0.884, so keep those numbers. Okay, so that's going to be a long process, all right, and you need to do that for all 4 data sets. Okay, so let's talk about how to chart this. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to chart the age. Okay, so I highlighted that whole column. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control, and I'm going to click and drag the survivorship as well. What that does now is I now have 2 columns. This is going to be my x-axis and this will be my y-axis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Insert. I'm going to go to Chart. Okay, and I do not want a bar graph. So I'm going to first change it to a line graph here. All right, so my data range, we can see that it started here. Okay, and so we can see that first survivorship. So when I click on that, okay, I want to make sure that that line is good. It's the correct data set, okay? And so this blue line is going to be survivorship. And so what I'm going to actually label this, okay, so the series is survivorship. All right, so that was going to be my first line, is survivorship. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Setup. I click Setup. So that's my first series. I want to add another series. So I'm going to add another series. And what I want to do is I am actually able to kind of click around here to add a different series. And so I'm going to get to where I want to. I'm going to add a series, and I want to go for females who died after 1950. Click and drag. And that's going to be my series there. All right, so want to show you guys how to add a series. So once again, I'm going to go to Setup. I'm going to add series, and I'm going to click this little selected data range. And what that's going to do is that's going to put this box over what I want. So then I'm going to click and I'm going to drag for the females who died after 1950. And so I'm going to make sure that that's the correct boxes. I'm going to hit OK. And what that does now, if we look, that makes your second line. So before you get too confused, this first one we need to relabel. Okay, so I'm going to double click there and I'm going to change that very first line. So those are the females who died before 1950. Okay, and then this red one, I'm going to double click there, and I'm going to put the females who died after 1950. Okay. So now I have those 2 lines. They're ready to go. So I'm going to show you guys one more time how to add another series. Okay, so I'm here. I want males who died before 1950. I'm going to come over to Setup. I'm going to add a series, and I want to make sure that I click these little select data ranges. Click here. I'm going to go and click over the data that I'm wanting to collect. So that's the survivorship. I'm going to hit OK. And now I have that third line there. Okay, so before I forget which one I'm labeling, I'm going to go to my yellow, and these are males who died before 1950. Sorry, I had a kid join a Zoom here. 1950. Okay, and one more time so that way I know that everybody gets it. Okay, I'm going to double click my chart. Go to Setup, go to Add Series, and I want to make sure that I click the little Select Data Range. And I'm going to click over here. I'm going to highlight from here. I'm going to highlight down to there. I'm going to hit OK. And now I have my 4 lines. I'm going to double click on that green part because these are the males who died after 1950. Okay. So then that is how you do your survivorship curves. Okay. So then you guys will be analyzing it on the tab at the bottom. Go and you will need to copy and paste that into your lab. That should be the end in terms of instructions, but make sure you guys answer all questions. Thanks, guys.